All right, if you're a technical founder, I bet I know what you do when you get a new idea. You open your editor and you just start coding. It feels like you're making progress, right? But as we're about to see, that instinct, it's one of the biggest traps you can fall into.
And this is really what's at stake. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? All that effort, all those late nights, can be for absolutely nothing if you're building in a vacuum.
So that's what we're going to do in this explainer. We're going to walk through a simple framework to help you find the truth first so you can build with confidence, not just blind hope. All right, first up, we have got to tackle this instinct head-on. Let's call it the code-first fallacy, because it's a really powerful and really dangerous habit. This slide just breaks it down perfectly. On the left, you've got the comfort zone, right? Spinning up a repo, writing code, it feels so productive. But the truth? Well, the truth is that real, actual progress looks completely different in the early days. It's talking to people. It's finding their pain. That's not just a warm-up for the real work. That is the real work. And I love this quote because it hits the nail on the head. Look, your greatest asset isn't your tech stack. It's not your elegant code. It's how clearly you understand the problem you're solving. That's the real foundation. Okay, so how do you get that clarity? Well, it's simple. You stop obsessing over your solution for a minute and you shift your entire focus onto the problem. You start with the pain. Before you do anything else, you have to find the pain point. And listen, we're not talking about a minor inconvenience here. We're talking about a real, sharp, felt problem. It's something people are already frustrated by, something they're actively aware of. You know, if the pain is strong enough, you don't have to convince anyone to want a solution. They're already out there looking for one. So how do you find that pain? You talk to people. But, and this is a big but, you are not there to pitch your idea. You're there to listen. Your job is to be a detective. Ask questions like these. How are you dealing with this right now? That tells you about their workarounds. What happens if you just ignore it? That tells you how bad the consequences are.
And you have to listen. I mean, really listen to what they say. If you hear them getting worked up, getting passionate, you might be onto something. But if they just kind of shrug and go, it's fine, pay attention. That's a massive signal that the pain just isn't big enough to build a whole company around. A lukewarm response is not a failure. It's valuable data.
Okay, so let's say you found a real pain point. The siren song of your code editor is probably calling your name. You got to resist it. Your next job isn't to build the product, it's to build proof. And to do that, you have to be absolutely ruthless with your own idea. Because most early concepts are way too big, way too complicated. So you ask yourself this incredibly powerful question. What is the absolute, single, most essential function that actually solves the core pain? And this is why that's so critical. All those extra bells and whistles, all that fluff you've been dreaming up, it actually just gets in the way. It hides the truth and makes it impossible to know if your core idea is any good. When you strip everything down to that one single function, you force the truth out. If that one thing is still valuable all by itself, you've found your core. So here's the playbook. 4 simple steps. First, strip the idea down. Next, test every single assumption. Don't just guess people will pay for this. Find out. Then, simplify your explanation until you can say it in one sentence. If you can't, it's not clear enough. And finally, the big one. Get a real commitment. And I cannot stress this enough. This is where so many founders go wrong. You're going to hear a lot of, "Oh, that sounds amazing," or "I would totally use that." It means nothing. Seriously, it's just people being nice. It's a compliment, not validation. Real validation is when the other person has some skin in the game. It's when they give you something that actually costs them, their money, their time, or even their reputation. When someone pulls out a credit card, signs a pilot agreement, or offers to introduce you to their boss, that's validation. That's the signal you're looking for.
Now, doing all of this pre-work isn't just for you. It's not just about building a better product. It completely changes the game when you eventually talk to the people who can fund it.
Let me be super clear here. Investors don't fund your clever code. They don't fund your beautiful design. They fund solutions to big, expensive, painful problems. Your tech is just the vehicle for that solution. And this creates a huge disconnect. So many founders walk into a pitch meeting and want to show off their demo and talk about their tech stack. But look at what investors are actually focused on. They care about the problem, the unique insights you've learned from users, and the rigorous process you use to prove this thing is real. And that's really the key. When you can walk into a meeting and lay out your validation process, step by step, it just screams maturity. It shows you're not just another person chasing a trend. You're a founder who knows how to find the truth. That is a huge deal.
Which brings us to the ultimate payoff of this entire approach. This isn't just about dodging a bullet and avoiding failure. It's about building a smarter, more efficient company from day one.
Think about it. Building the wrong product isn't just a setback. It's a dead end. You can add features, you can fix bugs, but you're just polishing something that was built on a flawed foundation from the very beginning. Just look at these two paths side by side. The first one, building in the dark, is just a straight line to realizing you got it all wrong. But the second one, building with clarity, is a loop. It's a continuous cycle of talking, testing, and learning. You build the smallest possible thing to learn more, then you do it all over again. It might feel a bit slower at the very start, but trust me, it's exponentially faster in the long run.
And this quote, man, it just sums up the whole thing. You can't just code your way out of uncertainty by shipping more features. You have to learn your way out of it. Writing more code doesn't create more clarity, but learning more, that always does.
So the next time you get that brilliant idea and your fingers are just itching to start coding, pause, just for a second, and ask yourself this one question. What am I going to learn before I build? Because I promise you, the answers you find before you write a single line of code, well, they're going to define everything that comes after.